Thank you, Sam, for leading us in prayer. This word, prayer, is considered by many as somewhat old-fashioned and something that people don't do today. But at the same time, in our society, I think that meditation is considered acceptable and spiritual, but not prayer. And I wonder why. I recently had this conversation had this question that addressed to our KT, our KABBALAT Torah class, post B'nai Mitzvah students. And we had a really interesting conversation, because both meditation and prayer require discipline for it to work. If you expect a meditation or a prayer to work after one visit or after one hour, then you wouldn't have that. It's like going to a gym and expecting it to work immediately. It requires discipline. It requires going regularly. And both is a dialogue with the deepest part of ourselves. So they have a lot in common. So, and one of my teachers also used to say that most people experience a sincere prayer only on an airplane during a period of turbulence. This is when people really, really pray. And it's, I think, true when we experience difficult moments in our personal lives or crises in the world, we tend to turn inwards, think about our safety before the safety of others, but also reflect on what matters to us. And perhaps not only negative, but all significant life events inspire us to turn towards reflections about our lives and ask important questions. Well, we make birthday resolutions, make promises on New Year and on anniversaries. We say that we will exercise more, spend more time with people we love, and give more to others. All of these moments are inspired by some events in our lives. In other words, we use milestones to take a step back and promise ourselves to become better people. There is a beautiful Hasidic teaching saying that each person must celebrate their birthday, even if they don't feel like it. Because this is the day when God decided that the world needs you. And the world would be worse without you. It's a beautiful teaching. Therefore, on each birthday, one must think about what they can bring to this world to make it better. I think it can also and should also happen to countries. Next week will mark the Independence Day of a country that is on the news a lot, the State of Israel. I think when a country celebrates its birthday or Independence Day, it should also reflect on its past and present and ask the sorts of questions like a person would do on their birthday. Today I would like to focus and reflect on this idea, independence. I think there is more similarity between the way a bar mitzvah boy celebrates the journey towards personal independence and the way a country forms the idea of sovereignty and independence. In both cases, freedom and independence are the core of the day. And in both cases, it's not a straightforward and simple concept. Questions that a teenager asks themselves and questions that a young country asks are similar. What does it mean to be mature? What does it mean to be grown up? What does it mean to become free and independent? Also free and independent from what? And what for? What is my role in relation to others? The stronger the person or country gets, the more capacity they have to harm others, and therefore more responsibility should bear, and therefore it raises many questions of personal responsibility. There is a French Jewish philosopher, Emmanuel Levinas, who developed his thinking after Holocaust, after the Second World War. He talks a lot about the concept of a face of the other. He writes that people see God in the face of the other. Why face? Why face? Why human face? When I see another person, when I see a face, I make a choice to be friendly to this person or not friendly. But human face is very fragile. It's not very hard to harm one another if you have access to people's face. Therefore, Levinas says, recognizing and showing your own fragility is the first main source of trust that people can build with one another. Trust is not about demanding loyalty from others, but about being brave to show your own vulnerability. I think the notion of trust is connected to the notion of independence. The word for independence in Hebrew is atzmaut, and which means which is now independence. The Independence Day in Hebrew, Yom HaAtzmaut. It comes from the words or from the root etzem, which can either mean bone or essence, something inside you. And this semantic connection between the two words, atzmaut and etzem, I think teaches us something, or at least we can apply this connection to our lives and say that the concept of independence is linked to inner personal essence. And this connection led Jewish thinkers to develop a beautiful philosophy and a lesson. If a person is freed from his master, that's only half of his independence. True independence is about realizing one's true essence and reaching one's full potential. Somebody who is fully dependent on others, not independent at all. The one that is dependent on any kind of power has almost no separate identity. What am I? Is the question that becomes relevant only of an independent person. True independence is not about freedom from others, but a deep understanding of yourself. So this week's Torah portion, Kedoshim, has perhaps the most famous commandment in the world. Ve'ahavta lereacha kamocha. Love your neighbor as yourself. So Rabbi Ben Gershon, also known by an acronym Ralbag, medieval French Jewish Talmudic scholar and mathematician, interprets this commandment in a very original way. So he asked, why Torah would specify that you should love your neighbor as yourself? Why not just say, love your neighbor? Why adding this line, as yourself, here? And he concludes that any relationship between people should first of all start with yourself. So the choice of forming relationship should begin with you. You shouldn't wait for others to start relationship. This position seems selfish and unkind. If you take it into extreme, you may end up not providing any help to others because it's all about me as yourself. And what this relationship, and only thinking about what this relationship gives you, not what it gives others. But yet, if we don't need to take it into extreme, And we can just say that, yes, you need to make a first step. You shouldn't wait until others to form relationship. In a famous teaching, Rabbi Hillel interpreted this very verse to mean that which is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. This is the whole of the Torah. The rest is commentary. Go and study. All of the parts are important here, because this is the whole of the Torah. Can simply apply that in terms of where this verse appears in the Torah is right in the middle. There is almost equal number of chapters and words before and after. So this is the center of the Torah. But the last phrase is most important. Go and study. It's not enough just to say this. However, I think it means that true love, true independence, true freedom should not come from opposition to hatred and oppression, but from a deep understanding of one's inner core, values, priorities. Too often, I think, we define ourselves today by what we are not. When you blame others for your problems, when your life becomes a constant battle against your enemies, this is not independence or freedom. This is a continuous battle for survival. You don't blame the pilot for the turbulence. You think about what matters to you the most at that moment and trying to become a better person, a better country, and trying to understand why you are here and what you can bring to the world to make it better. Shabbat Shalom.